Good evening everyone. Today is the second video for the chapter chemical bonding. Okay. Last day we discussed about electrovalent bonding. The examples which we did were NaCl, calcium oxide and magnesium chloride. Okay. In electrovalent or ionic bonding we see there is a metal always. Okay. Here the metal is sodium, here calcium and here magnesium. And also there is a non-metal, right? Chlorine, oxygen, chlorine. So when there is a metal and a non-metal, the type of bonding which happens is electrovalent bonding. The bonding which we will discuss today is covalent bonding. Okay. Now this bonding is formed. Previously electrovalent bond was formed due to complete transfer of electron from the metal to the non-metal. Now covalent bonding is formed by the sharing of electron. This is a very important term, sharing of electron between a pair of non-metals. Okay. The first example which we see is the formation of the hydrogen molecule. Okay. The electronic configuration of hydrogen is 1. So it has 1 electron in its outermost shell. What is the nearest noble gas? Helium is the nearest noble gas, which with electronic configuration 2. So hydrogen needs to have 2 electron in its outermost shell to have stable duplet configuration. So what happens in case of hydrogen? Hydrogen goes for sharing of electron with another hydrogen. Let us see. Hydrogen has 1 electron in its outermost shell. The other hydrogen has 1 electron in its outermost shell. So they go for sharing of electron. Sharing means this electron, when we count this electron, we count it for this hydrogen also, this hydrogen also. Similarly, when we take this electron, we count it for both the hydrogen. So this hydrogen gets 2 electrons. We draw it like this. 2 electrons in the middle. Why? Because they are being shared by both the hydrogen atoms. So these 2 electrons which are being shared, they form a covalent bond. So 2 electrons is equivalent to 1 covalent bond. Okay. So this is represented by a straight line H dash H. This is what? This is called a single covalent bond. Okay. Next, let us consider the example of the element fluorine. Okay. Fluorine has electronic configuration, atomic number 9, electronic configuration 2, 7. So it has 7 electrons in its outermost shell. So it is 1 electron away. So it needs 1 more electron to get back to the neon electronic configuration, which is 2, 8. So what does fluorine do? Fluorine also goes for covalent bond formation. Suppose this is a fluorine atom. It has 7 electrons. 7 electrons in its outermost shell. It shares 1 electron with the other fluorine atom. Okay. So these 2 electrons are being shared by fluorine. So what do we get? Fluorine. Here there are 2 electrons. Here there are the other 6 electrons of its own. Okay. So this is 1 shared pair of electrons. So for a single pair of electron, we put 1 single arrow. So F dash F. That means single bond. Okay. Similar is the case of chlorine, Cl2 molecule. Cl2 molecule you will do on your own. The atomic number of Cl is 17. So 2, 8, 7. So similar way you have to draw. Okay. Understood? The third example which we see is the oxygen molecule. Okay. Now oxygen atomic number is 8. Electronic configuration is 2, 6. Now 2, 6 means this is 2 electrons away from octet stabilization. So nearest noble gas is neon, atomic number 10. 2, 8 electronic configuration. So it needs 2 more electrons in its outermost shell to get octet stabilization. So what happens in case of oxygen? Oxygen has 6 electrons of its own in the outermost shell. Okay. The other oxygen molecule also has 6 electrons in the outermost shell. Now here we see that there are 2 sharing pairs. This is one pair another pair. So there are two pairs of electrons which is being shared. So the next picture which we get is here we draw 4 electrons, that means 2 pairs of electron, okay, and other 4 electrons of its own. So for this oxygen, how many electrons? 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 4 8. So octet fulfilled. For this oxygen, 4 plus 2 6 plus 2 8. So both gets octet fulfilled. Now this is one single bond I mentioned. So this will be another single bond. So what happens? This is called a, we put 2 lines, okay, to show that there are 2 bonds. This is called a double bond, okay. Covalent bond is represented by this straight line between 2 elements. In previously electrovalent bonding we saw, we were writing Na plus Cl minus because this was electrostatic force of attraction. But here, because of the sharing, they are forming a bond. So here there is no electrostatic force of attraction like electrovalent bond. The next example is nitrogen molecule, okay. Nitrogen atomic number is 7. Electronic configuration is 2, 5. So it has 5 electrons in its outermost shell. How many electrons more it requires? It requires 3 more electrons to go to nearest noble gas neon configuration, which is 2, 8. So here we see nitrogen has 5 electrons, right? Why we are drawing 3 electrons here, you will understand that. Now, there are already 2 electrons. They are sharing this pair of electrons. So 2 plus 2, 4. Okay, again they have to share. 4 plus 2, 6. Now they have to share again. Then only you get 2 plus 2, 4. 4 plus 2, 6. 6 plus 2, 8. So if this is also 8, this will also become 8. So here what happens? There are 6 electron pairs which are being shared by both the nitrogen atom and 2 electrons of its own. So nitrogen, we have to draw 3 straight lines because 1, 2, 3 pairs of electrons. So N, this is called triple bond. Why triple? Because 3 covalent bonds are being formed. We have to learn about a term called covalency. Okay, what is covalency? Covalency means, suppose let us consider hydrogen molecule. Okay, hydrogen is H single bond H, oxygen molecule is O double bond O, nitrogen molecule is N triple bond N. Covalency is the number of electron pairs which is being shared. So for hydrogen covalency is 1, for oxygen covalency is 2, for nitrogen covalency is 3. Okay, and here you see in all the examples, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, both the elements which are sharing are same. So this is also hydrogen, this is also hydrogen, this is oxygen, this is also oxygen. So if this hydrogen has a particular electronegativity value, this also has the same value. So there is no electronegativity difference between the 2 elements. Suppose we have M-M and there is no electronegativity difference between both the elements. So we say the molecule is non-polar. Non-polar means there is no existence of dipole moment. Dipole moment, what is dipole moment? Suppose we have a plus charge and a minus charge. When there are 2 different charges, there exists a dipole moment. You have learned about this in physics. So when 2 elements are same, there is no electronegativity difference. In this case also, this case also. There is no electronegativity difference between both the elements. So these are called non-polar. Okay. The next example is methane molecule. Okay. Methane is an organic compound. You will study it in the organic chemistry chapter with formula CH4. Okay. The carbon atom has electronic configuration 2, 4. Hydrogen has electronic configuration 1. Now each carbon will require 4 more electrons. So it has 4 electrons. It requires 2, 8 configuration to be stable. So it will require 4 more electrons. Okay. hydrogen has 1 electron, it requires 1 more electron. Okay, now we draw carbon in the center with 4 electrons on 4 sides. Okay, and then hydrogen we draw here. This cross symbolizes electron of hydrogen and this dot symbolizes electron of carbon. Okay, here also we draw 1 more hydrogen, here also 1 more hydrogen, here also 1 more hydrogen. Now this is 1 bond, this is 1 bond, third bond and the fourth bond. So total how many bonds? 4 bonds. Now let's see if octet is satisfied for carbon. Carbon has 2, 2, 2, 2. So 2 into 4, 8 electrons. So it has its octet satisfied. Now for this hydrogen it has 2 electrons. This hydrogen also has 2 electrons. This hydrogen 2, this hydrogen 2. So all the hydrogen gets it duplet satisfied and and this carbon also gets it octet satisfied. So what do we get? The final picture. C, single bond H, single bond H, single bond H, single bond H. So total how many bond? 4 single bonds. Okay. Previously in oxygen molecule we saw that 2 bonds are present at the same position. When 2 bonds are present at the same position, this is called double bond. Okay, but here the single bonds are present at different positions, so we write 4 single bonds. Okay, now here carbon has 4 hydrogen attached on all 4 sides. Now previously we learnt about non-polar and polar. Here the difference of electronegativity between hydrogen and carbon is almost negligible. So because there is not much difference in electronegativity, therefore this type of compound is called non-polar. So methane is also non-polar. Same if we see carbon tetrachloride, CCl4 means carbon in the center with 4 chlorine on all sides. Okay. Here also we see the electronegativity difference between carbon and chlorine is almost negligible. So carbon tetrachloride is also an example of a non-polar molecule. Okay. Now for this CCl4, let's see the electronic configuration of carbon. 2, 4, chlorine is 2, 8, 7. So last shell of chlorine has 7 electrons. So chlorine requires only 1 electron and carbon requires 4 electrons. So what is the structure like? Carbon in the center with 4 electrons on all sides and chlorine here with 7 electrons. Now, what do? We draw the central metal atom electrons as dot and the branching electron, this is on the side branch, so this we draw as cross. That is the normal trend. You can do the reverse also or you can draw same also. This is 1 single bond, this is 1 single bond, this is 1 single bond and this is 1 single bond. So chlorine has how many electrons? 2 into 3, 6 plus 2. So 8 electrons for this chlorine, similarly 8 electrons here, 8 electrons here, 8 electrons here. This carbon has 2, 2, 2, 2. So 2 into 4, total 8 electrons and the structure looks like this. So this also has 4 single bonds. Okay. The next example is of water molecule H2O. Okay. So oxygen has electronic configuration 2, 6. Hydrogen has electronic configuration 1. Oxygen requires 2 more electrons to get its octet satisfied. So to get 2 more electron, oxygen, let's draw the structure. Now this is 1 bond, this is 1 bond. Okay. So oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Now you will ask, why did I draw this hydrogen bend? Because water has bent structure. Water is never linear. We can't draw water like this, okay? Water is never linear. Why it is not linear, that you will study later. But for now, you know that water, we can't draw it straight. We have to draw it like this, okay? With two single bonds. Now, there are certain new terms which you will learn. One is lone pair and the other is bond pair, okay? Now, when hydrogen and oxygen is forming a bond, this pair of electron, two electrons, so pair of electron is called bond pair of electron, okay? This pair of electron is also called bond pair of electron. Now, this electron pair which is left in oxygen unshared, this is not shared by anyone, this remains only with oxygen. This unshared pair of electron is called lone pair of electron, represented by LP. This unshared pair of electron is also called lone pair of electron. So, in case of water molecule, we have two bond pair plus two lone pair, okay? The other thing which we see in this molecule is that water is a polar molecule. So, water is my first example of polar molecule. Why this is polar? We know oxygen is an electronegative atom. So, oxygen has delta minus charge. Why? Because if here there is a bond pair of electron, due to the electronegativity of oxygen, oxygen will pull the electron pair towards itself. So, the moment it pulls the electron pair towards itself, it has an excess of negative charge, but it is not a discrete negative charge like in case of Cl minus. Why Cl minus was discrete negative charge? Because chlorine was totally taking up the electron from sodium in case of NaCl molecule. But here it is only pulling the electron a bit towards itself. That is why this has a delta minus charge. Delta symbolizes a lower value, not 1, something between 0 and 1. So when this has a delta minus charge, this has a delta plus charge because hydrogen is losing its electron. So similarly, in this case also, this has a delta plus charge. So this is a polar molecule, okay? That is why this is called a polar molecule, because electrons are moving upward. So it has a net dipole moment. The next example is ammonia molecule, NH3. The central atom is nitrogen, atomic number 7, electronic configuration 2,5. Hydrogen atomic number 1, electronic configuration 1. So nitrogen we draw in the middle with 5 electrons, okay? And hydrogen with single electrons. This is one bond, this is one bond, this is one bond. So it is forming 3 single bond. Now let us consider this nitrogen. This has 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 2, 8. So this nitrogen is having 8 electrons, octet satisfied. Each hydrogen is having 2 electrons. So duplet rule also satisfied for hydrogen. So the structure is N, H, H, H. Now this has 1, 2, 3. 3 bond pairs of electron and 1 lone pair. This is called lone pair, plus 1 lone pair of electron, okay? The next thing which we have to see in this molecule, nitrogen is an electronegative element. So it will try to pull the electron towards itself, the shared pair of electron which is forming the bond. So nitrogen will pull the electron towards itself. So in case of all bond, the electron is being slightly shifted towards nitrogen. So nitrogen will have a delta minus charge. So each hydrogen will have a delta plus charge because nitrogen is pulling their electron towards itself. So this compound will also have a dipole moment. Hence NH3 also is a polar molecule. Let us draw the water molecule structure once again. Now water has 2 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs, okay? Now this lone pair of electron means what? They remain only with the central atom oxygen. They are not being shared by anyone. Now water can donate this electron to form a new kind of bond which is called coordinate covalent bond. Okay, this is a type of covalent bond. So if you are asked how many types of chemical bonds are there, it is two types. One is electrovalent, one is covalent. So this is a special type of covalent bond which is called coordinate covalent bond, where the lone pair of electron which is present in the central atom can be donated. Okay, now we know that H3O plus hydronium ion. Now the structure of hydronium ion is when this oxygen donates its electron pair to a H plus. H plus means what? Hydrogen is what? Single electron. Now when it is forming H plus, that means it has 0 electron. So this has 0 electron. Now when oxygen donates this lone pair of electron, it gets 2 electrons. So the structure is like this: oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen single bond on one side, a lone pair remains as it is, and the other one is a hydrogen which is forming a coordinate bond. So this is the symbol for coordinate bond. Okay, similar is the case of ammonia molecule. We know ammonia is NH3 which has 1 lone pair and 3 bond pair. So NH3 is N with a lone pair of electron and 3 hydrogen on 3 sides. Now when this lone pair of electron is donated by nitrogen to a H plus ion, it forms ammonium, NH4 plus. So how is this happening? We draw like this. This is a arrow of coordinate bond. Okay, so this is ammonium ion. We put a plus charge. Why? Because it has a positive charge, because H plus is being added. For hydronium ion also you have to put a positive charge like this, and then you put a positive charge. Okay, one more thing which we show here is, in electrolysis chapter you have seen water breaks down to H plus plus OH minus. Now how does this breaking happens? Oxygen has 2 electron lone pair of electrons and 2 bond pair of electrons. Now this H plus means what? This oxygen atom takes away the bond pair of electron from this OH bond. That means this has 2 electrons here. Oxygen takes away both the electrons. So H goes out. H initially has 1 electron. When H goes out without any electron, we get H plus which has 0 electron. That is why we have H plus plus OH minus. Why do we get OH minus? Because this OH is getting an extra pair of electron from here, this bond. That is why we have OH minus. Next we see the comparison between electrovalent and covalent compound. These are the points which we use to differentiate between the two. Number 1 is state, like whether it is solid, liquid or gas. Okay, electrovalent compound, they are generally solids. Okay, why they are solids? Because suppose let us consider the electrovalent compound NaCl. NaCl exists as how? Na plus Cl minus. Now when Na plus and Cl minus, we know there is a strong electrostatic force of attraction between the ions. So because of this strong electrostatic force of attraction, they have state as solid only, because solid is closely packed, so they can come very close to each other. But let us consider the hydrogen molecule. Now we know hydrogen gas is gaseous in nature. So in hydrogen what happens? A hydrogen molecule and a hydrogen molecule, there is a force of attraction between two molecules of hydrogen which is called van der Waals force of attraction. It is called van der Waals force of attraction. This force is much less compared to the electrostatic force of attraction. Hence, this covalent compounds can exist as solid, liquids as well as gases. Next point is volatility. So, electrovalent compound can't be volatilized easily, but in case of covalent compound we see, because of this weak van der Waals force, the force of attraction can be broken very easily on applying heat. So they are volatile. So covalent compounds are volatile, electrovalent compounds are non-volatile. The third point is melting point and boiling point. Now Since in electrovalent compound we know there is a strong electrostatic force of attraction, to break this electrostatic force of attraction, a large energy will be required. So when you require a large energy to melt it or boil it, so it will have a high melting point as well as a high boiling point compared to covalent compound, which has very weak van der Waals force of attraction. The same point is being used in first three characteristics. The next point is conduction of heat. Electrovalent compounds exist in solid state. So solid state can easily conduct heat. That is why electrovalent compounds are good conductor of heat, whereas covalent compounds are bad conductor of heat. The fifth point is conduction of electricity. We know electrovalent compound exists as iron. Iron can easily conduct electricity. So electrovalent compound exists as ions, but covalent compound exists as molecules. So because this exists as iron, they can conduct electricity easily in molten and aqueous state. You have to write this, not in solid state but in molten and aqueous state. But in case of covalent compounds, they can't conduct electricity in both molten or aqueous state. Sixth point is electrolysis. You know, in the chapter electrolysis, we have seen that electrovalent compounds can undergo electrolysis, whereas covalent compounds can't undergo electrolysis. But here you see, let us consider the covalent compound HCl. HCl, we know H has a chlorine has high electronegativity. So HCl is a polar molecule. So because the HCl is polar molecule, so we can easily form HCl. This has a delta minus, this has a delta plus. So it can form ions. So that is why we can say that polar covalent compounds can conduct electricity, but non-polar covalent compounds can't undergo electrolysis. The seventh point is solubility. Electrovalent compounds, because they are polar in nature, they are soluble in polar solvents, insoluble in non-polar solvents. But covalent compounds, because they are non-polar in nature, they are soluble in non-polar solvents. But you see, the polar covalent compound like HCl, these are also soluble in water. So if a molecule is polar, it is soluble in polar solvents. Example of polar solvent is water. Example of non-polar solvent is benzene. Okay. So this point is clear. The next point is dissociation and ionization. To understand this is very important. First you have to understand the difference between dissociation and ionization. Now electrovalent compounds exist as Na plus Cl minus. So Na plus Cl minus means there are ions already present. Now these ions are attracted towards each other to form a electrovalent compound by electrostatic force of attraction. Now the term dissociation means when you apply electricity to this, it forms Na plus plus Cl minus, means you break this force of attraction between the cation and the anion. So this is what is called dissociation. The next point is ionization. So electrovalent compounds undergo dissociation. Ionization is related to covalent compounds. Now let us consider HCl molecule. In HCl molecule, when it is present as HCl molecule only, there is no ions in it. But when you pass electricity, it breaks the bond which is between the H and Cl atom. This bond is being broken when you pass electricity to form H plus plus Cl minus. So this is called ionization. Previously when ions were formed and we break them, that is called dissociation. But when there is no ions present, there is a proper bond here, and we pass electricity and break it, we get ions. This is called ionization, and this is called dissociation. I have given a PDF file on the description below. You will check and you can get the notes there. All notes are written properly there. Copy them down in your class paper. Thank you.